I was a week shy of 16, Miss Brown's art class, basement of Central High School. I learned 3 lessons on September 11th of 2001. One is nobody knows what is happening. 2, not even the adults. 3, David and Goliath works both ways. When the initial announcement came over the speaker, my friend Ben Merrick, who was in class next to me, said that this was the Chinese. His stepdad watched the news. He knew what was up. For the rest of art class, I fully trusted that this was the Chinese and that we were going to have to learn Mandarin. In the weeks that followed, I remembered that trust and that my initial instincts and the initial instincts of those around me are not always right. Nobody knows what is happening. My sophomore chemistry professor was Russian, born in the Soviet bloc, a product of authoritarianism. By the time I got to her class, she had the live stream on a big block TV strapped down to a metal cart. In her slightly too bulky, slightly out of date professional clothing, she watched, horrified, transfixed, not panicked, calm, but definitely confused. She was educated and experienced, and she had immigrated from this other broken country, and she knew things, and she was confused. Nobody knows what is happening, even the adults. Here's the biggest thing I learned that morning. Terrorism works. Not that it's good, not that it's admirable, but that it works. I grew up in the first generation of school shooters. I started walking the halls of my high school 5 months after Columbine. I watched as teachers and administrators realized that media saturation does in fact begat new domestic terrorists. I watched as my disenfranchised peers began to find comfort in the idea of destroying an entire classroom. We were a generation who knew firsthand that sometimes bad men decide that they are David. Timothy McVeigh was not good, but he was successful. Children of my generation and the adults supporting us were learning real time that any man can decide that he is David and go after Goliath, that there was a new playbook, and that you didn't need to be able to declare war in order to give someone a black eye. I learned that good and bad and morally justifiable and even who has the biggest army doesn't really matter if you have an incendiary device or a plane ticket or a rifle. David and Goliath works both ways. And I was not the only one learning. From Columbine to the Twin Towers, the lesson was the same. A single act can bend a giant to their knees, at least momentarily, and make every popular kid nervous. Playbook for the coming era was hot off the press.